96 FM Pattaya People Radio with the Mamas and Papas, and Monday, a song made for especially this day. Here on 96 FM, we are on the second week of our brand new show, Community Pulse, where we give you a chance to integrate with the rest of the community. My name is Danny Fobian, and my guest here in today's show is Ilya Atomic, a young Russian friend who have lived here in Pattaya for a few years now and have, I think, a good understanding of the international community, but obviously also from Russia. And you have probably heard this before. I hear it a lot of times every day. Customers or someone will ask me, why are all Russians so rude? And I obviously work with a lot of Russians and know that not all Russians are so rude, but like everything else, it's a matter of understanding each other's culture. Why do you think a lot of Europeans often find Russians very rude?
That's pretty true, because comparing to Russians, English or Germans or all European nations are very gallant and very much smiling and very polite. So the first reason is the language again. Actually, it's much easier to say hi or hello in English. Yeah, when you just see someone on the street, you can say hello, or in the elevator. But in Russian, you don't really say like hello on the streets, because first hello, привет is only for young people, and the traditional form is здравствуйте, which is long, so it's much more complicated. And you see, Russia is a pretty cold country, so it's the weather, the surroundings are pretty gloomy. So the people traditionally used to be like that as well, unfortunately.
And I have to say, it's not fair that maybe you are representing all Russians now, but that's the job you have chosen today. But I'm thinking, is it something like, for example, if when Danish people come to London the first time, we are amazed by the way when they queue up for something, they will stand, and they won't touch each other, but stand very close. Where in Denmark, people would be lazy and almost hang on each other's back in a queue lined up. So that's just a different way of queuing, a different queue culture, if you want it. Is that some of the things we see with the Russians, that you have a different body culture, a different personal room? You can, in a train, you can stand closer to each other than...
I believe it's pretty much the same to Europe. In southern nations, you have the room smaller. You can gesticulate, articulate, and be very, like friendly on the streets. But in the northern, people are more quiet, and they have bigger, like personal space, personal, room. So in Russia, Russians are originally a pretty northern nation, so we have like quietness and all these things.
And one of the things that I often hear people complain is that when there's a chance to cheat in a line or do something, say, oh, Russians always try to come first. Is it something where you're used to not being giving anything, so if you want something, you have to grab it yourself? How has that come across?
Yeah, that comes from communism as well, I believe, because in communism, I will explain, there were not really many things to buy in the shops. Anything better than bread and milk you had to search for, and when there is something like boots, like lady boots were on sale, there was a huge queue, and so it was like your only chance to grab something. So since that time, Russians are pretty, could be aggressive in the queues. But thank God now there are not much queues in Russia, but still it lives in the blood a bit now. It goes down and down.
And I can tell you what the founder of Pattaya People, Nils Kulov, always tells me, because he's been here, he's seen the Indians come, he's seen a lot of those news, and he say, it takes 5-10 years from a new nation starts to travel, learn to travel abroad, before they really get it, before they understand when you travel abroad, you have to, not act like back home, but be a good guest.
Because many people who come to Thailand, they come first time abroad, so they don't really know, they have never seen so many smiles, and so
they are here like all the rest of us to get lucky. Wasn't that a good segue? Yes, I think we can agree this is one of the fantastic new tracks out at the moment. Daft Punk with the good old Nile Rodgers and Giorgio Moroder, and then Pharrell from Next Tunes. This is Get Lucky.
Like the legend of the Phoenix, all ends with beginnings.